Hallihallo, ihr blutsaugenden Clownies da draußen, zurück zu Vampyr. Wir waren letztes Mal hier oben, also auf dem Weg nach hier oben, um mit den Priester zu reden. Machen wir jetzt auch.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in our country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Alter Schwede, ist der krank im Kopf, der Junge.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Alter, ist der krank, der Junge.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
That science is unable to explain the facts doesn't mean there is no rational explanation.
I confess, I share your point of view, Doctor.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. No one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
Hinweis benötigt, okay.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Mehr haben wir nicht.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Okay, mehr haben wir nicht. Das ist echt doof. Ich will mal kurz was gucken bei den Dude hier.
Good evening, Mr. Whittaker.
It's Father Whittaker, my son. So,
Ich will denn sein blödes Gelaber nicht hören.
Don't you fear getting sick yourself?
I've been touched by God's grace. I am perfectly healthy.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Der ist wirklich gesund. Der ist erschöpft. Das ist echt kompliziert. Was bist du?
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
I'm sure you could have found another job, perhaps less lucrative. Maybe you should try again.
And when exactly was the last time you looked for a job? Or worried about the rent, or what, or when you were going to eat?
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Okay.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
Alles klar, die ist auch erschöpft. So, dann müssen wir mal weiter gucken. Gehen wir mal hier hoch. Da geht's nicht lang. Jetzt ist meine Frage. Muss erst mal gucken, wo was noch sein könnte. Da ist auch nichts. Finde den Briefkasten. Blumenstrauß, ein kleiner Buchstaben. Camille. Da. Mein liebe Kinder, es tut mir leid, dass ihr einige Monate nicht lang nichts von mir gehört habt. Die Lage in London war schwierig. Ich weiß, es klingt vielleicht egoistisch und töricht, wenn ihr meine Kinder noch in ein Land leben, das vom Krieg heimgesucht wird. Aber auch hier in England tobt ein Krieg gegen Armut und Ungerechtigkeit. Diesen Krieg will ich trotz meiner fortgeschrittenen Alters führen. Deshalb schreibe ich euch heute. Ich werde nicht nach Rumänien zurückkehren. Das bedeutet, ich sehe euch wahrscheinlich nicht wieder, bevor ich sterbe. Seid nicht traurig, meine Lieben. Ihr seid mittlerweile erwachsen und habt selbst Kinder. Ihr wisst, welche Opfer wir manchmal bringen müssen, um diese Welt zu einem besseren Ort zu machen. Und dieses muss ich nun bringen, damit ich noch ein letztes Mal nützlich fühlen kann. Ich wünsche euch ein langes, glückliches Leben. Gebt meinen Enkeln einen Kuss von mir und vergesst nicht, dass euer Vater euch weit ab der kalten Heimat liebt. Euer ewig liebender Vater Darius Pratisco.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly.
Kann ich reden, bestimmt.
Camellia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever.
Die ist gesund.
I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Very well. Goodbye then. I cannot enter.
Interessant. Da war eine Feder drin. Alle 14. Ist sie alleine?
Leech spotted! Watch out!
Oh, er ist nicht alleine. Lecket mich. Ah. Ah, Mama. Oh, da sind ja noch mehr. Oh ja. Ah, was? Wo bin ich denn? Oh, ich bin gerade an dem dümmsten Ort der Welt gelangt. Oh, Mann! Ich bin tot. Scheiße. Scheiße, die waren da. Ich bin tot. Also da komme ich schon mal nicht lang. Die sind alle zu hochlevelig. Scheiße. Ewige Ladezeiten hier. Was ist da los? Mein Stuhl macht komische Geräusche. Ja, Katze ist okay. So. Alles klar. Da will ich jetzt nicht lang. Weiß ich Bescheid. Komme ich hier rein?
It's locked, all right.
Ich möchte irgendwo lang gehen, aber ich habe keine Ahnung. Im Friedhof komme ich zum Beispiel auch nicht rein. Vielleicht gehe ich jetzt in Darius direkt. nachzugucken. Ist jetzt irgendwie eine andere Möglichkeit, noch da runter zu kommen oder so? Sieht aber nicht so aus. Warum soll ich denn dann hoch? Mann, 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 Mann.
Pay me a glass and I'll be gentle. Pay me a bottle and I'll be nasty.
Okay, interessant. Whitechapel. Dann schließen wir mal die Tür hier auf. Zack. Whitechapel Street. Hi. Ich brauche mal ein bisschen was, danke. Aua. So, komm. War deine letzte. War deine letzte Patrouille. War Feierabend jetzt. Jetzt muss ich halt echt wissen. Also wenn ich da jetzt nicht lang komme, dann muss ich halt woanders lang. Ah, jetzt hat sie die Straße gewechselt. Super. Oh, da liegt ein Ring. Nee, ich will keine Ratte. Ich bin voller Blut. Brauch keine Ratte. Der ist tot. Wie es aussieht. Der auch. Hier oben liegt nichts. Das ist schade, dass hier oben jetzt nichts lag. Ein bisschen looten, ne? Muss ja auch ein bisschen was rumliegen hier. Was haben wir denn jetzt hier? Bin ich wieder an der Whitechapel Street.
It's locked.
Hey, das kann doch nicht sein. Wo soll ich denn rein? Kann doch nicht sein, ohne Mist jetzt. Ja, der will ich nicht reden. Bla bla bla. Du weißt doch, wie man Geld macht, mehr nicht. Ah, hier war er, ne? Zack. Ach, das ist der. Nee, was sein Vater meckert. Da geht's also auch nicht weiter. Na, mal gucken. War wieder jemand tot? Was ist denn hier mit?
I cannot enter.
Lass sie auch nicht von der Seite öffnen. Ah, das ist auch hier sinnlos runterzugehen, außer den Ring. Wahrscheinlich schon.
When science fails you, This elixir will give you faith again. Its effectiveness has been proven by many. Even the flu.
Bloody hell, boy.
Okay. Dein scheiß Herz ist schwarz, Junge. Muss gerade überlegen, wo lang. Aha, da war die Tür.
I must insist, sir. Please let me see Nurse Crane.
I have no time for you, sir.
It's locked.
Okay. Interessant, okay. Gut, da beenden wir jetzt mal den Part und sehen uns dann einfach im nächsten Part. Ja, warte mal, das kann man eigentlich nochmal fix markieren. Markierung setzen, zack. Und dann sehen wir uns einfach im nächsten Part. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen, bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!